are in hell.
You give people with no accountability to what they perceive as power, and we got Hitlers like Hitler never had Hitlers in Germany. God, there was only one of that sucker in Germany. We got them all over out here because these people, there's no accountability. They just do whatever they want. And they're called agents, and that's why that movie Matrix, because they can just appear anywhere. And when I finally figured this out, we have no government. It's gone, folks. It's because everybody uses the word agency.
Well, I got news for all the crooks and agencies in uniform who think it's all funny. Your masters are going to hurt you bad. You think you're part of the system, you're going to find out. Keep laughing. Keep laughing. I mean, Ralph, here's the problem. At the top of the pyramid, I'm sure you know about all the thousands of admitted chemical, biological, radiological tests on the troops and police and others. They kill our troops all the time for 60 years in test to create other cadres of military that will do the killing just as a test. And it's an admitted declassified fact, and the public can't figure out that, of course, they carried out 9/11. I mean, if our government would irradiate 4,500 children, U.S. children, frying them to death, just to test radiation systems, but they wouldn't kill you on 9/11. I mean, it's a wonderland for psychos, isn't it?
Well, it is, and you know, it's just like I look for black and white issues, what I call a bright line. Oklahoma City, they had all kinds of video cameras. You know what's missing at Oklahoma City? There's no hole in the ground out in front, so therefore there was no fertilizer bomb. It's all a freaking lie.
And they won't release the videos, and the FBI that's seen it say that it was multiple.
No, these are the TV camera videos of all the different, out of the helicopters. They were flying around.
I know those. I agree there's no hole. I agree. I'm saying, but then the close-up videos they seized, yeah.
Yeah, you go to 9/11, the Pentagon. There's no plane. There's no motors, and there's no people. And the towers, there's never been a steel building come down yet, and 2 of them came down in the same day within hours, and then the other building 7, you can see it go down, and we listen to Dan Rather or
here's an example.
Other idiot.
The Gardasil vaccine admittedly kills people. They admit it in their own insert. It says this gives you cancer, this kills you, and they run out and inject themselves. Have you heard the latest? They're going to put 3 to 8-year-olds on statin cholesterol drugs.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's hell force, ladies and gentlemen. You understand?
Well, there's two interesting things that I was watching. One is I watched what happened in Texas when they kidnapped, and that's what they're doing. They're kidnapping children for money, for slavery. They kidnap them, hold them for ransom, and they sell them off. The interesting part is what happened in Texas when they took all those children. They filed a mandamus, and a mandamus is to obey your rules and regulations. Now, this is what I've come up with, and this week we are finally attacking the IRS. Because they must follow their rules and regulations. That's the only thing that holds them accountable. The code laws is a waste of time. That's just the marching orders. The statutes, or they call them statutes, or the state. It's all baloney. They are not bound by it. The only thing the courts are bound by, the only thing the agencies are bound by, the only thing that the agents are bound by is what's published in the Federal Register.
And I know there is some success with that. The problem is that they will only accept that from higher directives of someone higher up the totem pole, and these Mormons had a boatload of money, and the government's so hated now, it was a PR backfire. My whole issue is that they selectively enforce even their own codes and regulations, as you know.
Well, they do, but I've been jerking the judge around here. I provide research material that we're going to fight this, and we've been starting now to jerk these judges around. I've got 2 summary judgments and the killed commercial stuff here in the last 3 weeks. But we're going to see how this plays out, because this is the only thing that binds these people, because they don't work for us.
Now, getting back to the Hell Force, let's just go over the makeup of the Family Destruction Services, their own books they take in college say the family's a disease to be eradicated. We provided all those to you. So their job, eradicate the family, break down homeschoolers. They viciously hate Christians. Let's go over that, how that particular mercenary force operates, and how illegitimate they are.
Well, like I say, it is because Congress has set this up, and they can target any group that they want to tear apart. Number one, they must tear apart the families. So they have set up the adoption part that we have. They're going to. It's nothing short of bounty hunting. They offer money for every child. If you get over this amount, you start making money, and that means that these child custody folks, then they can hire more of them. That means your job is secure. So, I mean, these people they're going to do it. And
that's right. It's growing like a flesh-eating bacteria infection. It's exponentially growing. It's like mold eating a whole loaf of bread. It's like cancer. They're just going wild in our blood.
Well, it's like, the Act of Congress says we take the average of the last 3 years baseline. Now we take the next 3 years. Well, the next year is higher, so that means we have to kidnap more kids to keep our jobs, and so then we do that. So we every year it's an automatic setup means that we are going to destroy the family.
That's right. Clinton accelerated that, in 97? Explain that. They have to up the bounty just to get the original money.
Well, right, and every year the numbers keep going up, the number of children in the system. Well, of course, if your job depends on kidnapping a child, what are you going to do? You're going to go kidnap them, and where do they find them? They have the schools and they have the hospitals to where they send them the information of any child that's had a bruise or anything.
It's worse than that. Let me give you an example. You're at the hospital having a baby. This just happened to me, and I go there because I know the doctor. She's a fan. She's not bad, but the system is. And I've already had 3 children, so I know how it is, and I'm in there. And she says, "Oh, hon, will you run this down?" The master nurse getting my wife ready to go in. "Will you run this file down to the floor next to me? Thank you." And then I leave. I wink at my wife, and the lady says, "How is your home? Got plenty of money, plenty of food?" That's enough to take kids right there. "Is your husband nice to you? Got a good relationship?" "You can tell me, honey." And she's right there at a computer hooked into the police. Not telling you, not reading your rights, nothing. My wife says, "No, we're fine. We're great. We're doing good." And then I come back, and the woman's slyly on her power trip. "Thank you for doing that." She's a bucket of pus because she has to do this for her job. She does it to love it. She's on her own power trip, but something's happening. Now they're going to grab her grandchildren's kids. Now they're not wanting to do it. I talked to other nurses about how horrible it is. They all know what's going on. Some of them are fans. But the point is this is it. You are being reported on everywhere. Go ahead, Ralph.
Well, like a lady that I've been helping here, she was in there, and they took her child for no reason, and they adopted it out. So you had another child down in Montana, and they come in there, and their big issue, well, you've already had one child taken. Now, there's no facts, but we don't think you know how to change diapers either. But the big issue is she happens to be a very large woman, around 300 pounds, so therefore you might damage your child, so therefore we're going to take your child, just because of your weight.
And that's what the cashless grid, the cashless tracking system's about. Well, have you heard now they're talking about taking children in England and the parents hug them in public? You have to have a license to hug your children. That's licensing the family. And then also, they feed the children curry at age 2 in the government preschools. The dumb mothers take them in, because it's, quote, free. And I got it on mainstream news. And if the child says yuck when they eat hot food, police are called because that is a racist term to say yuck to spicy food. I'm not kidding.
Well, one of the things that we have to look at here is, like in Alaska, we had 2 people got in a pissing match over a tabby. There was a cat in a business, and so they actually had a trial by jury of who's going to get the cat. Now, they get around and they take children with no trial by jury and no facts. They just make it up, and then they close the initial hearing off. It does not have any...
Well, how did the cat come into this one?
Well, what I was saying is you can have a cat, and they will have a trial by jury before you give the ownership of the cat away. You take children, and there's no trial by jury.
That's right. There's no nothing. And explain, these family courts are literally part of the, just outside the... Well, here's an example. Here in Austin, Judge Jean Muir and her designates set up portable buildings at every school. Now, if a child's late to class 3 times, that doesn't violate state truancy law. They falsely charge you with that, but then have the father sign a form saying your child's on probation for doing something that isn't against the law. And then now you're in the system. See what I'm saying, Ralph?
Well, it's a total overthrow. There's no evidence. There's no anything. And because the people do not understand, don't know how to fight this thing, and they have a belief system that the cop has police power, that these people...
Stay there. We're going to keep talking during the break. Ralph, this is too incredible. I'm going to have you up in the next few weeks for 2 hours because I want to go over all of it and then go over procedures of what you do to fight back against them. But get into the family court structure real fast.
Well, I've actually been thrown out of it because it got so bad up here. They had one up here where a family had a boy chained up outside, and he had infection with maggots in it. And there's a gal had been raped, actually 2 of them. And so it finally blew.
These are people taken by the child rape forces.
Oh, yeah, they were taken.
I mean, let's explain. They're allowed to torture, murder, anything. Okay, so he's outside chained up. The hell force has got him with maggots. Go ahead.
Well, then what they do is, see, they close all these courts down so the public can't see. They're all private because we want to protect the privacy for the children.